Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, created by the amazing, I love the studio, Eidos Montreal, is out today. So we gave it the comparison treatment, as we always do with the fairly big releases.
Yeah.
And this is, I would say, a fairly big release. It's got a good Metacritic. It's in the 80s.
I've heard it's
Rich
very
loved
good.
it.
I've heard it's very fun.
Yeah, Rich loved it. Yeah. So I've played the first bit 7 times, and I really enjoyed the first bit. I would like to see what happens after the first bit, but that's another story for a different day. So first things first, we've got the 7 consoles. We'll start with the FPS. The FPS on the PS4 and the Xbox One S does dip to like 29, 28.
Okay.
Mostly solid. But yeah, it does dip, which is, it's okay. This is 7-year-old hardware.
Yeah.
The Pro and the One X also dipped slightly as well. The odd frame, I think as low as it went for me was 29.
Okay.
Maybe 28, but yeah, so not perfect, but yes, not awful. And of course, we've got the 2 modes. We've got the quality mode, which runs at a solid 30. Ignore the 32, I think that's screen tear, and I couldn't work out, I counted the frames, but in performance mode on the PS5, rock solid 60.
60
we'll talk about
smooth
resolutions and stuff in a minute. A Series S is about 40, it's about 40 to 55.
Oh, that's a weird one, actually. Is that uncapped then? Or it's uncapped up to 60 and it doesn't quite reach it?
I assume so, yeah. But
okay.
Series X in quality, 30, and rock solid 60 in performance mode. And here we are, we've got the swipes. So yeah, fairly sure, the producer on the game said that it is 1080p 60 and 4K 30. So
on the next gen consoles, right?
Yes, on the next gen consoles. Little bit disappointing that it's not 4K 60, but it looks absolutely gorgeous when you see, as you just saw, the Series X version, and you'll see the PS5 version towards the end of this swipe montage. But look, it looks decent on pretty much the PS4 Pro and the One X as well.
Yeah,
it looks absolutely stunning on the PS5.
It does. It looks gorgeous on those consoles. But I must say, it looks quite blurry on the Xbox One S and the base PS4, doesn't it?
Yeah. They're struggling. To be honest.
That's got to be sub 1080p, right?
Oh yeah. Well, because it's 30. It's only 30 FPS though. So, but yeah, you would think so because it looks like we get performance mode. I put performance mode and resolution. Quality mode.
Yeah.
I put them in this video because we missed them out of one, and I apologise for that. But yeah, I just noticed it in the menu. But yeah, the PS4 and the Xbox One S, they're starting to show their age massively now.
They really are.
It looks very muddy. It's not. It's functional, so you can play the game. But obviously, this is clearly a next-gen-ish title, I would say, just because of how stunning it looks.
Yeah, it looks very crisp, doesn't it, on the next-gen consoles? Even the mid-gen refreshes look good, though, don't they?
Yeah, they do. I'm going to say this. I think this is the first console that I can't see a difference between PS5 and the Series X at all. And I've literally paused it and looked at the raw footage and gone through with a magnifying glass. But obviously see the difference between performance and quality. And I'll be honest, Matt, it's so gorgeous in quality mode that I might even recommend people actually playing quality mode. Because it's a gorgeous game. And performance, playing at 1080, that doesn't really feel next gen to me.
No.
It's just my personal opinion.
No, I agree, because especially if you got that sort of like 1440p, pushing closer to 4K at 60, the payoff feels a bit better, but it's a big jump from 1080 to 4K.
It is, and you can see it now. Obviously, this is performance versus performance in the two consoles, and again, I can't really see much of a difference. The same with the two super next gen consoles.
Yeah, and obviously there's some colour difference, but that tends to be the capture footage, right? Like the way you capture it.
Yeah, it's hard to get the two consoles to actually sync up. This is probably the closest I've managed to get them to sync up in quite some time. But as you can see, his jacket, as you go up the generation, basically. It just gets
that
more
right hand
and
side
more.
is nice, isn't it? The sheen, the crisp lines and stuff like that.
It's a gorgeous game. Honestly, blew me away a little bit, and you'll see it more as we get into the first kind of mission area, which is more kind of open world, I want to say. It's not open world because it's a linear game, but in terms of the environments, this is inside a ship.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you can see, the One S and the PS4, I mean, they're hanging in there, like, surprisingly.
And the PS4 looks better still, doesn't it, than the One S?
Yeah.
That base Xbox One was struggling from day one.
Yeah, it was. It's like 50% more powerful, isn't it? The PS4
Series S looks really nice, doesn't it? Like,
yeah.
For console... Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, you're pretty much what you're going to say. It's a 250 quid console, right? And it's doing 50 FPS. But, like, look at the two differences, like, between the 1080 and the 4K. Like, it's a lot crisper. And again, if you can't see this at home, you're not watching on 4K or on a 4K monitor. So do that, because then you can actually see the differences. But, I mean, I guess it just depends what you want from the game. But for me, a single-player game like this, with the environments that they've created, I'm leaning more towards the quality, just because 60 FPS is great, but the combat is, I mean, it's fairly simple. It's not like you're counting frames kind of thing.
Yeah, it's not
an arcade game.
It's not a Souls game, is it? Where
no,
that's actually going to push you over the edge into winning a fight or whatever. And especially for a game with this sort of, because the visual style of this, from what I've seen so far, feels very strong and very distinctive. It's not just graphically impressive, is it? There's a whole sort of art style going on.
Exactly. And now this is it. Like, we're actually not this, but the next shot. I just wanted to try a low lighting situation. And yeah, I mean, it's functional on the last gen.
It
and I pretty much feel like we say this every video. It's like it's just hanging in there. But absolutely gorgeous on the Series X and on the PS5. And this is quality mode. Pretty much, if it doesn't have a label on it, it's quality mode in terms of the next gen stuff. But I mean, if you're going to play it if you're still playing on the PS4 and the One S, like, I mean, it works.
Yeah, it gets the job done. Especially, it depends what your situation is. If you've got a small telly or something like that, and you're not going to notice as much detail, they'll get the job done. It seems to hit a fairly steady sort of 28, 29, 30. You're gonna get the Guardians of the Galaxy experience, aren't you? You're just not going to get this sort of visual stuff.
Right, and look at the Series X now, and the detail in the environment, and the pinkish stuff on the left, like of the shadows, obviously, but just the shapes as well.
Yeah,
like,
the geometry
feel
on
more,
it.
Like globular, as opposed to, it's a little bit like, I guess this is one of the things that they've had to kind of dial back on the last gen stuff.
Yeah.
It's like the geometry and stuff like that, which is what I mean about the art style, because like it makes the world feel a lot more alive when it feels like globules, because they almost look like crystals and they're not.
Yeah.
It's
been something I've started to notice recently, actually, like since I've gotten a bigger TV and since I've started playing on next gen consoles, and you go back to older things, and there's not a lot of things that are circles in environments. There's a lot of like edges that I didn't used to notice and now I'm noticing, and like even on the mid-gen refreshes you can see there's a lot of angles,
the anti-aliasing, and just like the flickering of various things in the environment as well. And you can see it even in the performance mode on the PS5, just the flickering of the environment.
Yeah.
But this is a good example between the two kind of different modes, and how quality just looks absolutely stunning.
Yeah, that's
just the detail in the background.
It's one of the biggest steps up from like a performance to a quality mode that I've seen in a while. Because like when I was like playing like Spider-Man Miles Morales on the PS5, like I was switching between them a lot, and I wasn't seeing. I couldn't see it as obviously, and same with like Ratchet and Clank and all those. I know are like variable resolutions, but this one really feels like if you go into quality, you're getting that next level of graphics. You're getting next gen then.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, it looks absolutely gorgeous in the quality mode on both. But like I said, I can't actually point any differences out. And I have gone through. So I did 8 shots, and I've gone through like 6 of the shots. And like, just look at the lighting on the Series X as well. It looks a lot more realistic, and the globules on the right, you see them, they're a lot darker, because obviously this isn't ray trace, but there is a ray tracing mode coming. I think maybe this week actually. But like, I don't know what that's going to do to the resolutions and things like that.
No.
We will see. But like the PS4, you can see like the frame rate in the background, that it's just kind of just moving across like frame at a time.
Yeah.
Almost reminds me of the Steam in Cyberpunk on the PS4 version a long time ago. But yeah, I mean,
I've got to ask actually, Dan. Then, like, because we're talking about this. There's no ray tracing here at the moment, and we're still getting these sort of performance mode at 60 FPS at 1080p on next gen hardware. Are you a little bit disappointed with that?
Massively, yeah. But it's weird though, right? Because like it just looks absolutely gorgeous in the 4K mode.
Yeah.
But I don't understand why we can't do 4K 60. This is the point of the new consoles.
Yeah, and it feels
to have both.
It feels like some people are able to do it. Do you know what I mean? Like you're getting some games, but then I don't know if they're building for resolution first, and then not finding they're not able to hit the frame rate, or if developers just need time with the consoles.
Not sure. I would say this is one of the prettiest games I've seen though in 4K.
Yeah.
So maybe they have just gone, you know what? Let's just make this absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
And we haven't got the time to make it 60 FPS or the resources. Like I don't know. I don't know how many people are working on the game. Eidos Montreal, a massive studio though.
Yeah, and you've got to think, Marvel money behind it. You've got to hope that it's a pretty big budget thing, but maybe resources in terms of having to develop for 7 consoles you've tested. And
and I guess there's the Xbox One as well that we don't test because obviously it's basically they don't sell it anymore.
Xbox One, I think it's coming to Switch as a cloud version as well, which must be its own thing. And then there's PC, and are we at that point where cross-generation games aren't pushing that 4K 60 that we could maybe see if games are developed differently entirely for next-gen consoles?
Yeah, you'd be disappointed if you got a next-gen only title and it was 4K 30.
Yeah,
right?
And it is happening at the moment. There is stuff like that. So yeah, I'm wondering. I know the consoles are powerful. All the developers talk about is how powerful the consoles are, and that's people who aren't even promoting them. But it does feel like we're still missing out on that. The thing that high-end PC owners are getting, where easy 4K 60, possibly pushing frame rates above that.
So just look to the right of Mr. Quill. And you see that surface, and you can see the difference as you go up in terms of the detail.
Oh god, yeah.
So obviously that's the 1S, so that's the other end of the scale.
Bless it.
But as you go up this, if you go to the mid-gen, like there's slightly more detail.
Yeah.
And then you go from that to next-gen, and it's like, wow, it just brings the entire, more scratches and things like that. And obviously we go back to the globules, it's the same all over this level. So, it just looks absolutely, I love it. It's like, I genuinely think it's one of the prettiest kind of 4K games.
Yeah.
I say it doesn't have the 60 like a lot of the other games do, Matt. So yeah, kind of disappointing, but also it's just gorgeous. So I'm kind of hung up on that a little bit. So
it's really gorgeous, really lovely art style. Everything I've heard about it's just absolutely great fun. Single player romp. As it is,
exactly.
And I feel like there's not been a lot of hype for this game going around.
No.
I don't know if Avengers did a bit of a number on the brand.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
But
probably, yeah.
I'm excited.
Matt, that's out now, mate. That's out now. People can go and buy it, whatever platform they want. There isn't much of a difference between the next gen, so if you've got both next gen consoles, you're good. Just choose, I don't know, whichever one you want.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, folks. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Cheers, folks. Bye.
Bye.